Hello everyone and welcome to Chart Forecast. My name is Zero and thank you for tuning in. In this third episode of the series, we will be analyzing and discussing the Hot 100 predictions for the week of February 11th, 2023. Although nothing major impacted the charts this week, there is still a surprising amount of movements and debuts in this episode, so make sure you stick around to see what makes the chart. And as always, let's begin with our top 10, where there still isn't a lot of movements, but we do have another new entry in the top 10. But of course, our number one is still as strong as ever, Flowers by Miley Cyrus with an iron grip at number one. It has officially solidified its state as a multi-week number one and is not likely to go anywhere else soon, which makes Kill Bill by SZA stranded at number two. Even though it is really strong in its own right, except in sales where the numbers are a bit mediocre, it easily could have been a number one single just a few short months ago, but unfortunately right now, Flowers is just too strong, and I doubt it is going to take the number one ever, probably. Meanwhile, Creepin' by Metro Boomin, 21 Savage and The Weeknd reaches yet another new peak at number 3, moving one spot up, as it is primed to rule overall radio and still has really good streaming. However, I do not think that it is going to be in contention for the number one anytime soon. We'll have to see if the radio remains consistent or if it doesn't drop off too hard. Unfortunately, Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift continues a downwards trend down to number 4, losing one spot. As yes, the streaming is still pretty good, but the sales and radio have unfortunately peaked for the song. And as predicted last week, Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras remains at number 5, but gains a solid amount of points and especially gains a lot of sales. Not only is this due to the album boost, but it also received a significant sales campaign during the week, affecting all existing remixes and versions of the song, but it is not enough once again to save the dying radio and streams of the song. At number 6, we have a new number one on overall radio, Die For You by The Weeknd. Once again, I doubt the song is going to make it into the top 5, as once again the airplay has just peaked for the song, but it is impressive nonetheless that a song this old still managed to completely rule radio. If you guys don't remember, Running Up That Hill did not do that when it came back last year. Which means I'm Good Blue by David Guetta and BB Rexa loses the spot on overall radio and loses one spot in the top 10 down to number 7. Once again, mediocre streams can only go so far, especially when the radio has now peaked. The song is just gonna go down from now on. Same case for Rich Flex by Drake and 21 Savage. The song is just going down, despite the radio still going pretty strong, and a pop radio push has officially been announced last week. So we'll have to see how far that goes, but honestly I doubt it really goes anywhere considering how the song is. At number 9, As It Was by Harry Styles, once again keeping strong residual radio and residual streaming. And the new entry in the top 10 that I told you guys about at the start of the video, Just Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert, moving 2 spots up to number 10. This is their 7th top 10 single on the Hot 100. The song is here for the same reasons Golden Hour entered the top 10 last week. It has a really good balance between streams and radio, and with even better streams, and the song seems to be growing week after week. We'll have to see how far this song goes, but it's interesting to see that a Jersey Club song has managed to get this much traction in mainstream channels. Now let's move on to our losers and dropouts, where unfortunately I'm going to have to cut both lists short, as there are a significant amount of them, and they're not really worth all discussing. So in an attempt to keep the episode smooth, I will only point out the most notable ones in both categories. Starting off with our dropouts this week, where we saw exits for Half of Me by Thomas Rhett and Riley Green, Circle Loco by Drake and 21 Savage, Vegas by Doja Cat, and Miss You, as well as Seek and Destroy, Open Arms featuring Travis Scott, and Ghost in the Machine featuring Phoebe Bridgers, all 3 by SZA. Meanwhile, in our losers, as promised, I'm only going to discuss the ones that are most notable, at least to me, starting with Lift Me Up, down 7 spots to number 51, as it seems to be completely crashing on radio and doesn't really have much streaming to protect it. Nonsense by Sabrina Carpenter, as expected, lost all of its streaming and is now down to number 72, losing 16 spots. At number 75 and losing 10 spots, No Se Va by Grupo Frontera. At number 83, La Jumpa by Arcangel and Bad Bunny, down 8 spots. At number 84 and down 13 spots, Too Many Nights by Metro Boomin, Future and Don Toliver. At number 90 and losing 38 spots, Nightcrawler by Trippie Redd and Juice WRLD. At number 94 and losing 11 spots, Hot to Hot by Mac DeMarco. At number 98 and losing 18 spots, Star Walking by Lil Nas X. And finally, at number 99, losing 14 spots, Gato de Noche by Ñengo Flow and Bad Bunny. Apart from Lift Me Up, which we already evoked, Start Walking is the only song here to really lose these spots due to radio collapsing. The rest is mostly due to the streaming not remaining as stable as it should. Also, do keep in mind that these are not all the losers and dropouts of this week, I only pointed out the ones that are notable. Onto our gains and re-entries, where for the first time in this series we can finally talk about a re-entry, number 91, Tennessee Fan by Morgan Wallen. Now, Morgan Wallen also saw 3 debuts this week, we'll discuss those later, but he also saw gains for Thought You Should Know up 6 spots to number 21, and One Thing at a Time up 19 spots to number 54. That song is also the biggest projected gainer this week. But make no mistakes, there have also been significant movements on this week's chart, starting with Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift up 11 spots to number 19 following the release of a music video and continued radio promotion. The Kind of Love We Make by Luke Combs at number 28 and up 7 spots as it resurged in streaming for some reason, maybe due to a cross effect with the Morgan Wallen songs. At number 38 and remaining as consistent as ever, up 11 spots, Players by Kid LAROI, once again gaining in every single channel and doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. You Didn't by Brett Young, up 6 spots to number 71. AMG by Gabito Ballesteros, Peso Pluma and Nathaniel Cano, up 11 spots to number 81. Do It Again by Emily Chopper and Too Rare, up 11 spots to number 85. And Backhand by Finesse 2 Times, up 10 spots at number 88. Now, those are all the significant gainers of this week. I did not cut the list short. It is kind of odd that we have much more losers and dropouts rather than gains, but I guess the debuts of this week upset that amount. And with this short list, we can get to our debuts, and once again we will start with the biggest impactor this week, and that's Morgan Wallen debuting 3 songs, with first of all Everything I Love at number 63, I Wrote the Book at number 58, and number 29, the highest debut of the week, Last Night. Now, you may not think these are big numbers for Wallen, especially considering he had a pretty good 2022 with multiple songs of his making the top 10, but you might not know that these 3 songs were released this Tuesday, which means they only had 3 days of tracking to make it onto the Hot 100. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as of this Friday, the streaming numbers, especially for Last Night, are looking pretty huge, so it is likely that we have an even bigger Wallen impact on next week's Hot 100. But aside from the Wallen songs, we still have a good amount of debuts, starting with number 100, In a Mood by Ice Spice. Now, this one is likely not to make it, just as it is likely to make it. There have been a few pushes made, once again during the end of the tracking weeks, for this song to debut. We'll have to see if those came to fruition. At number 97, Dancing in the Country by Tyler Hubbard. His follow-up single has been out for a few months already, and it is here mainly due to radio, but also has a few streams. And from what I can tell, radio stations are really liking this one, or at least the label seems to be pushing it really hard, so expect this one to become a hit later on. At number 95, Sex, Drugs, Etc. by Beach Weather. Now, some of you may be surprised to see this song debuting only just now, as it was pretty trendy and viral on TikTok just a few months ago, but it never had enough streams to cross onto the Hot 100. And the main reason this song is here is due to a continuous and long-lasting radio push, which doesn't seem like it's gonna go really high, but has still managed to last over the span of a few months. To be completely honest though, I doubt that makes the song a significant hit in the future. At number 86, we have Fin de Semana by Junior H and Oscar Maydon. Now, this song, much like other songs we've seen lately in this genre, is here due to streaming, but is also likely to get airplay as it goes on for a few months, so we'll see, just like the other ones, where this song is going to peak. At number 80, we have The Black Seminole by Lil Yachty. Once again, this song is here due to streaming and streaming only, but I doubt it is going to remain as stable or at least stick around for a few more weeks, as it already had started to fall during the tracking week and it is unlikely to make any waves in the future, so don't expect that one to become a hit. It may get some pretty good streaming over time, but enough to chart, I do not think so. At number 73, we have I'm Not Here to Make Friends by Sam Smith, Calvin Harris and Jesse Reyes. The song is here with good streams, a little bit of sales, and also a little bit of radio, as it seems to be the next single from Gloria. However, in the immediate future, I don't think it is going to last. It already started to fall, just like the Black Seminole, on streaming during the tracking week. However, Sam Smith's singles usually have had good radio even when the streaming wasn't really here, so I don't think this will have any trouble sticking around for at least a few more weeks. At number 65, we have Growing Up and Getting Old by Luke Combs, which is here primarily due to streaming once again, but also has some pretty good sales, However, it is not the next single from the album, at least for now. Going, Going, Gone is still receiving all the promotion, so for now, it is only gonna have to survive with streaming. The amount of time this song spends on the charts right now is only gonna be dependent on whether or not the label wants to promote it on streaming services like Amazon and Pandora, but it is interesting that the song saw some strange movements on Spotify at the beginning of this tracking week, so it may rise next week, we never know. As of now though, it is not going to become a hit without any radio. At number 41, we have Dawns by Zach Bryan featuring Maggie Rogers, which is here primarily on streaming and with a little bit of sales, but for its components, it is almost the exact same case with the Luke Combs song. Zach Bryan has always had good streaming, but he doesn't really have the sales crossover yet, and it doesn't really seem like his label really has pushed him hard, especially on radio. So for this one, I'm not sure where it's going to go. It might stick around for a little bit, especially considering it still has good streaming, but once again, I doubt it is going to become a hit. At number 40, we have Love Again by the Kid LAROI. This song is here mainly due to streaming with only just a little bit of sales to accompany it, but it also doesn't really have a lot of radio, which is quite interesting for a Kid LAROI song. Now, the promotion has never really been bad for him, so I expect the radio to come sooner rather than later, but it is interesting that considering all the promotion thrown behind this song, if you guys didn't know, it was featured in a Fortnite concert, promoted in the game, the radio run has not yet started. We'll have to see how long it takes for that to come. And this was the last of our projected debuts. However, I do want to point out some interesting songs that are currently in Bubbling Under that are likely to debut come next week. Starting off with Hey Mickey by Baby Tate, which is very close to making the Hot 100 and only needs a little bit more streaming to make it. Same case for Her Way by Party Next Door. You will note that both of these songs are pretty old and are now only resurging thanks to TikTok. Same case for PRC by Peso Pluma and Nathaniel Cano. If you guys recognize these names, they also are on AMG, just minus Gabito Ballesteros this time. This song is rising up streaming really fast, so I am 100% sure it is going to make the chart next week. And finally, one song that I doubt is going to miss the charts, but it is worth pointing out either way, Sugar Rush Ride by Tomorrow by Together. Now, for a K-pop song, this song has pretty good streaming. The fact is, it doesn't really have a lot of sales, surprisingly, and it's the main reason why it is not able to debut. I think they undershot the sales goal for this one. Still though, this is a pretty impressive breakout considering they also have the #1 album this week, even though they were never that close to getting to that spot to begin with, and the fact that they can translate that to streaming crossover is pretty impressive. If I were a betting man, I would bet money on their next big single making the Hot 100. And that is it for this week's chart forecast. Once again, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are still enjoying this series just as I enjoy making it. Once again, don't forget to leave any suggestions or any improvements in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to share this video around and subscribe to the channel for more of this. Anyways, thank you for watching once again, and I hope you have a good rest of the week.